Hi, my name's Regina, and I wanted to give my testimony today. I've gave it before, but I wanted to give it again. I can't say that I've ever been addicted to drugs. I can't say I'm above them, but I've just never had to get up the next day and, crave something or something like that. I've never had that in my system. But I've been affected on every end of my life with drugs. The worst day of my life started out to be the worst day, but it ended up being a good day, a good future. But it was on January the 2nd, 2001, and my phone rang, and it was my mom, and she said, get up, get to David's, they can't wake him up, which is my brother. He was 30-year-old, and it was real cold out that morning. I jumped in my car and I took off over there. And when I got over there, he was laying on the floor on a beanbag. And the house was real warm and dark like in it, and I couldn't really tell what he looked like. And I grabbed him by the feet and drug him down flat on the floor and started doing CPR and stuff on him. And they'd already dialed 911. The ambulance was on the way, but I couldn't see that he is already gone. My heart was beating so loud that I thought it was his heart, and it was just terrible. And well, they got there and they said he was gone, that he was passed away, and he had died. And I'd saw him the day before, and he just lived a rough life, and he was a good boy. He just chose bad things, and so my dad got there and my son, and I had to go tell my poor mother that he was dead. And when I left there, it's like a mile or two to my mom's house, and I took off up through there, and I was not living for the Lord. I had been saved, but I was walking a distance, just like Peter, just like Jesus told Peter, he was walking a distance, and I'd never been converted. And I told the Lord on the way up through there, I said, Lord, if you'll just help me and you'll send somebody to pray with me, I'll never be the same. So I walked in and had to tell my poor old mom, and parts of it I can remember and parts of it I can't, but I remember her screaming to the top of her lungs. And and our family it just devastated our whole family. It devastates everybody around you. And anyhow, I told the Lord, I said, Lord, if you'll, for some reason I thought I had to have somebody to pray with me. And the very first person that walked in my mom's house was an elderly lady that we went to church with most of our life. And she walked in the door, and the very first words that she said, Lord, children, let me pray with you. And I fell down on my knees right there in my mom's house, and I said, God, forgive me and help me to go forward, because I knew in my mind that if my brother had had life in him, I was in no shape to pray for him. I had let myself spiritually get so bad that I couldn't even pray for myself, let alone anybody else. But anyhow, I fell down right there, and I asked God to forgive me, and he did, and he picked me up. He never got on to me. He never punished me. He didn't do anything. He just loved on me and picked me up and set me up and started changing my life. I didn't announce it to everybody right off, but I gradually started changing and got in church and started changing, and then gradually my whole family changed. My husband got saved. Everything around me changed. My life has never been the same. And you think that just because it ain't you that it can't affect everybody. It does. But God, he's just so good, and you ought to try him, and you ought to let him use you. And I couldn't forgive myself for it, but God forgave me, and I gradually, had to come to my mind that it wasn't my fault what had happened, and just thank God that he just was waiting there for me, and he's used me. And that leads me to my favorite thing in the Bible. I always go back to the woman at the well, because that's the way I felt like my life was. It was many sins in my life. And he said, whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again, but whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. And that's what I always anchor my life on. You know, he was right in front of me, and I didn't know it. What I was looking for and searching for was right in front of me, the living water. He was standing there waiting for me. And I thank him for everything he's done for me. And try him. If you don't know Jesus, just try him. I promise you it'll be the best decision that you've ever made in your entire life.